Diane Carter, the wonderful and the beautiful and the talented, gifted Diane
Stop.
Carter. She is really. And of course I'm gonna give her the mic so she can share who she is, what, why it's so important to really be mindful of how we craft our stories and how that can change how we positions our credibility and our status according to how we come across. It's the same story, it's your story, Stone. And that's why I encourage, we're all in a learning process, and who's it better to learn from. And I like to share who, it's in my communities that has really not only they have the heart to serve for others, and so that is why we're all here. So I thank you, Ada, April, Astrid, Keith, Lewis, David, Don, Nishcam, Michelle, for all joining us today. Happy Friday, and thank you for joining Mindful Mingle. It happens every Friday. Today's at 12 p.m. Central or 1 p.m. Eastern or whatever your time zone is. But I thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us. So let's kick it off with Diane Carter, and I'm going to give you the mic and kind of share with everyone who you are, why this is an important topic, what's your story, and how you think this would be a really interesting topic for really the mindful crafting, Diane.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I know that Dr. New has already called you all out, so I'm not going to bore you with that, but I do appreciate each and every one of you and your patience. Dr. New was a couple of minutes delayed, and she asked me to start the event. And it's like, well, first off, I've never started an audio event, so I don't know how to start the event. And then I found out I could not start the event. I appreciate everyone hanging around and being patient with us all and joining us. So I am a creative spirit. I am a designer and marketer by trade, and I have morphed my career in multiple different creative veins, and I am now focusing on writing and storytelling and content creation. And that's where I spend my days, and trying to create content that adds value to everyone's time when they spend the time to read it. I'm hoping that everyone walks away with a nugget of, oh, I didn't think about that, or oh, I can use that, or yeah, I need to be, more mindful of that when I do that. And so that's how I spend my time in my days. And and it's so important that we are aware of the content that we're putting out, the words that we use. It's easy to step into a phrase and be misquoted. I mean, we all do it. I do it. We're all guilty of it, and that's fine. It's going to happen. It's just important that we try to watch what we say and mean what we say and be authentic with what we say, because all of that leads us down. All of it leads us into our future. The right words can increase our engagement. The right words can make us stand out in a competitive market, a job market, if you happen to be looking for a job. The right words can boost your visibility to your clients, or again, to recruiters that might be looking for you. It can expand your network. So content, storytelling is very, very important. And so that's what I'm focusing on. And I'm focusing also on collaboration and cross marketing. Those are important aspects of what I'm also doing. I have several people that I work with as ghostwriting, and that's important to me to help them reach their potential. And also just collaboration. I have created a book series that I'm working with Geraldine on, Geraldine Thomas, and we have written the first volume United We Thrive. The second volume was Branding with Heart, and the third volume, which is going to be out soon, has not been titled yet, but it's all about tenacity and your spirit and keeping the how to bounce back from failure and just keeping your dreams alive and being tangible in and just keeping you resilient and moving forward. Um, so that's where my focus is, and that's what I'm doing with my life right now, and trying to lift people up and move them forward. I hope that that answered what you were looking for, Dr. New, and I'm more than happy to try to answer questions from anyone that might have some.
I love that, Diane. And I think, feel free. I know that Lachelle, the supermom, had joined us. Thank you. Karen, Geraldine, Muhammad, and Worknish have joined us, and I think, let me see. Yeah, I've read everyone. It's really, why is it so important to stand out instead of blend in? And they really stand out as in not just to draw attention, but really to own up to your who you are, authenticity, and genuinely be you, but with kindness or however you like to craft it. But as in, don't use someone else's approach. What are your take on that, Diane?
Well, you've got to be able to stand out in a competitive crowd, whether it's because you're in a job market, whether it's because you're looking for clients, and you've got to be you. You cannot fake it. You cannot try to. You can find people that you admire. I mean, there are a lot of speakers that I admire. I like Tony Robbins. I like Brandon Burchard. I like, I don't know. I like these guys. But if I were to go on the speaking stage, I could not emulate them. I could not be them. I would just have to be me. And so you can find people that you like. Gary Vee, I like him, but and you can find points and things about them that you like, and you can try to incorporate that in you. But you have to be you. You're an original. You're a one and only. I hate using some of these cliches, but you're a thumbprint. You're a snowflake. I mean, you are it. When God made you, He broke the mold. So, I mean, it's like you're a one shot deal. So be you and make it count. And there's nothing wrong with being you. It's amazing that when we go through school, we're so busy trying to fit in. We're trying to be like everybody else. Oh, they're wearing these shoes. Oh, they got that shirt. Oh, that's not what we're here for. We've got to find who we are. We've got to find our purpose. We've got to answer our call, and we've got to stand up and be ourselves. And we've got to just be fearless in doing that. And if you make a mistake, it's the only way we learn is by making mistakes. We don't learn by being successful. Success is the icing on the cake. But the cake is where you learn the eggs, the flour, the sugar, the baking time, the recipe. This is where you learn. The icing on the cake is just for joy, but it only lasts a few minutes. You got to start all over again. So learn to be you, learn to stand up, learn to be fearless with yourself, and go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. And just stand up for yourself so that you can stand out for yourself.
Yeah, I love that. And for those, because I want to share why. I think because there's a lot of people who might hesitate, right, to really share who they are, or whatever they feel of that judgmental of other people. What if they this? What if that? And I think because we really stay in our own head and really bottle down, because I've been there, right? Not only in the past of, I don't want to be heard or seen, or I don't want attentions. I'm not an attention type. But it's not about attentions. What if it's a mindset shift of you're serving if you're not really sharing your story and what you're passionate about? Maybe others are seeking out, but they don't know. And how can they be not only resonate with you if you don't share who you are more than what you can do for them? It's not about, but they want to also get to know you as the person, as in your what your values. What is the things that fire you up? That can be your alignment that draw someone in, right, Diane?
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think part of the reason that we don't stand up and be ourselves is we're afraid of judgment. We're afraid of rejection. We're afraid of being ourselves. Earlier today, there was a comment made on my post about the post that I posted today. And oh God, it was it Ross? Oh, I know it's not Ross. Geez, I can't remember who made the comment about being afraid of being ourselves and being anyway, being afraid of being ourselves and being impersonating other people, and being afraid of being ourselves, being afraid of being rejected can impact us all. And what I wrote back to them was that Barbara Streisand spent 27 years off stage. She did not perform for 27 years because in one of her concerts, she forgot the lyrics to one song and she panicked and she wouldn't go back to performing for 27 years because she felt rejected. She felt ashamed of herself. And it's like, my God, do you really think the people cared about that? But she cared about it. She was she rejected herself, the failure. She feared failure. And that affects us all. And I share that to say that affects us all. I mean, that's how big, I mean, even the famous can be affected by that. So I share that to say you're not alone in your journey. We're all affected by being rejected or feeling like we failed, but you've got to know yourself. You've got to accept yourself. You've got to let these failures challenge you to be better, because they're not failures, they're opportunities to learn. They're challenging you to be better. You've got to learn to express yourself. Start small. Do something in your daily life, whether it's the way you dress or what you say or how you spend your time, and build on that so that you build your self confidence. Surround yourself with people that are supportive. That's what this group's all about. That's what Dr. New is all about. That's what all of these groups that you choose to belong to, they're all like-minded people. So surround yourself with supportive people that encourage you to celebrate yourself, your authenticity. Sometimes that word plays with my tongue, so I apologize. But learn to be yourself and support one another. Live by your values. Align yourself with your core values so that you can live up to what truly matters to you and stay true to yourself. And dear God, let go of perfectionism. There's no such thing as being perfect. And that word should just be eliminated from the dictionary. So many people try to live up to that, and they won't let go of their projects. They won't go out of the house. They won't talk on the phone. They won't take an interview. They won't. They just won't, because it's not perfect yet. It'll be better tomorrow. It's like, no, just let go. Take that small baby step and gradually build to make a better step tomorrow or later in the day. But let go and stay mindful. Be grateful for everything that you have and keep moving forward.
Oh, wow. You know, it's interesting. Please, anything that you would want to ask the amazing Diane, dig her brain. It's an open forum, not only to chat, to get to know one another, to share, because really one of the things when she shared that is that it brings us all back. Doesn't matter where we come, beginning of our stage, or to your really popular and really, but it's all about how can we come together and share these experiences that no one is immune and no one always say I got it. Everyone have that nervous, that stage fright, whatever it is, but they work through it. They have the tools, they have the support system, the confidence over repetition of just doing it. And when you mention about being perfection, that also prevent a lot of procrastination or analysis paralysis, right? Um,
Yeah.
and that is a guilty of in the past. I was like, you have an idea, you want to do something, right? If you notice in the past, we've all probably gone through this, that you thought of it, but you never execute out, even though you say it, you wanted, you share a lot of ideas, but you never execute it. But someone else later down the years down, they execute it, and you say, well, that was my idea. But it does not matter if it's your idea if you don't move forward and execute, it becomes nothing. No one will. It's not only about an idea of innovation, but it's also you want something that you're passionate, you fire up, whatever that is. You might find that maybe you're the only one, but maybe you're not. But what makes you different is that you take action, one small baby step, to be willing to fail forward. The key here, and I want to ask Diane to share her stories of that her clients that she worked with, because and you should share how long you help people in this world that you've been working on, is that what are the difference of having that courage before the confidence and just take action, maybe borrow someone else's confidence or someone else's believe in you, and just say, let's go, we're going to do it, versus I'm gonna study, I'm gonna hone myself, I'm gonna get my license, my credential, everything. I mean, there are things in the industry that you have to have credential. That's different. But when we talk about things that you can learn as you go, or people always say you can be ahead of how many steps someone else's, and you can inspire someone else's to take action. You never know who you're gonna inspire if you don't share. You don't get out so people can say, oh, I see someone like me who had the same story. They're a mom, they're a dad, or they're a single mom, single dad, or maybe they don't have kids, but they're passionate about teaching fellow kids because of what they've gone through. They we use our pain into our purpose and our passion. So that way you change and you create a pave a new way of doing things, and maybe create that curiosity for other people to say it's okay to be me. It's okay to show up, because I show up, and I know April was on the Oncology Mindfulness Expo. I show up as my raw me. I don't have to have makeup on. I don't have to. And the confidence is not about, and it's not, I'm not saying that for everybody, and I don't judge people who needs makeup, that's not what I'm saying, but it's just owning up whatever that you feel, and it's okay. You don't have to compare yourself with others, but it's the part that you're willing to share it and let people know that your vulnerability and what you're comfortable with. And people judge, then it's just their own insecurity, and maybe things that they feel like is their standard. But when you don't judge, you let go, the world is much more beauty, and you can explore and say, well, if they don't like it, it's okay. But maybe if you like to change it up, it's a trial and error if that's the type or the ideal client, right? When we talk about sharing to your type of people, you want to build your own community. It's really how can you serve, right, Diane?
Oh, I agree with you. And you said something interesting too. Excuse me, that I want to go back to. You were talking about ideas and how if if you didn't act on it and years go by and somebody else does something and you go, oh well, that was my idea. I have a strong belief in this, that um, some people call it the universe. I refer to it as God, but you can call it anything that you'd like. But I think that one idea, whatever the idea is not just given to a single person. That idea is put out there into the universe. It's put out there, and the people that are on that wavelength, there could be, I don't know, for this conversation, I'll just say 10 people, 100 people, maybe 1,000 people get that, or on that wavelength, that they tap into that idea. Now, out of that 1,000 people, how many people are going to react to it? Because ideas are not wasted. They're not just given to one person to go, yeah, that'd be great, but I'm not going to react to it. They're given to massive people so that somebody will react on it, because that idea needs to come forward. It needs to be brought to life. And so it's given to massive people so that it will come to life. Not just given to me so that I'll take it to bed with me and go, yeah, it'd be nice, but I can't, it would, I'm lack, nobody will, I don't, whatever my long list of excuses are. And so it dies. That's not how that works. And not in my opinion. And I'm sure other people have opinions about it. That's fine. That's what makes the world go around. But I believe that it's given to massive people so that there'll be a group of people that will act on it. And out of that group of people, there'll be another group of people that will be successful at carrying it forward in different ways. And so that's why sometimes you'll see the same idea given birth in 3 or 4 different ways or different industries at the same time. It's not because I don't believe that it's being copied from one another. It's because I believe that those individuals are the ones that brought that idea that was given to them by the universe forward and gave birth to it. So that's how I see ideas. I think that they are seeds that are given to multiple individuals and not just one. And I think you said something about my experience. I don't know. Maybe I read that into that, but I've been at this for so many years that I'm just going to say a couple of decades, and I've been at it longer than that. I don't even like to talk about how long I've been playing the game anymore because it makes me feel old, and I'm not old. I refuse to be old.
Well, I can attest because I met Diane in person. She said she's old. She's not old. And yes, I know that your years of experience, but it's the wisdom, and you're not old. And that's the thing, and you can share however you come, but you're not old. And I've seen her in person, so continue on.
Well, I love you, Dr. New. And yeah, I mean, I do. I have a lot of experience, and I've seen a lot of clients come and go. I've seen a lot succeed, and I've seen a lot fail. I've succeeded and I've failed. I'll share something with you all. I talk about the studio, the small studio that I had, and I had it for 10 years. It was a design studio, and I talk about closing it. And all of the story that I tell you is all true. The part of the story that I don't share often is this. The reason the studio closed is because I had a partner that we got along, we love one another. That's not why. But we reached a plateau in our success that I don't believe she was prepared for. And we were rocking. And she turned to me one day over coffee, blew my mind. And she said to me, I don't want to do this anymore. And it was like, huh? What do you mean? I mean, we're rocking. We hit our pinnacle. What do you mean you don't want to do this anymore? And she said, no, I'm done. And my failure, my stupidity at the time, was that I was still too young and too naive to say, okay, go. You can make your exit. We'll figure it out. How do you want to leave? I will go from here. Instead, my approach was, okay, well, we've got, I don't even remember now. For this conversation, we've got 10 projects that we need to wrap. It'll take us X amount of time to wrap them, and we just won't take anything else on. And you can go do what you need to go do, and I'll go do what I need to go do. Now, that was pretty stupid on my part because we were rocking. And instead, we just closed. We closed. I went to Nashville. And then I just went on my little journey of all kinds of different creative journeys and trials and tribulations. And I've enjoyed all of it. But I look back and realize that I could still be, I could have a nice, well, there could be two paths because I could have a nice little secure studio that could have grown. I could have had, several people working with me or working for me, and maybe I could have sold it by now and I could be retired from it. Or the way I tend to look at it is because I wasn't prepared for it, it was the way the universe wanted it to end, and it ended. So, I mean, that's how I look at it. But you could, and I have at times looked at it as a failure on my part. So that's the part of the story that I typically don't share with anyone because I'm not necessarily as proud of it as I am just to say, oh, and we closed the studio and I moved on.
Well, that is something I want to say thank you for sharing, not only being vulnerable to share, but this is where we have to also be willing to say it's okay to accept and move on, because only then would you know what are you willing to accept and do and to be who you are now, because without that experience you would have not have known what you know now.
Exactly.
So that is where I think all of our journey, the triumphs and the trials and up and down, when people say, the peak, the ebbs and flow and all that, it's that's the beauty. It's really to enjoy it all and to enjoy the journey. And that is what makes this experience, and not so caught up on failure is the end all be all. I'm doomed. But you didn't fail. You learned so much from it. It's that you pay not only the time, the sacrifices to learn a valuable lesson that other people didn't get a chance to. It's a mindset shift, a perspective on where you are and where were you. We learn, that's where I think mindfulness, and I know that it's hard when we bring up things that in the past, but we have to be willing to have reflection to know where we came from, what we've gone through, yes, but don't be pondering and be stuck in that failure,
Yeah,
that stage or whatever, and you're not willing to move forward and live in the present moment, and not so worry about, well, what if I do this, what would happen? And when you stuck in the analysis paralysis and continue on not moving forward, it does not serve you any good, anyone any good, because you're not moving. And if you don't change, nothing change, right? You have to be willing to go outside of the comfort zone. That's a lot of people say that, and sometimes people say, what, why would you want to go outside of the comfort zone, right? Or there's a
right.
saying that you have to be willing to be comfortable being in the uncomfortable. And that means sometimes we're not willing to be like I was never the type who say take a picture, selfie, or record myself. No, I don't like that. But when you shift, it's not about you. It's about helping others, serving. You're not self-centered. You're not here to say it's about me. I'm sharing the world, or like that envy, because it's not. It's our mind of thinking people in the social media. It's all about the fame and gloria. But when people share their vulnerability, the down, that is where lesson, the wisdom, the lesson that we learn from it. We don't learn from just all success is all the accumulation of all the things that we accumulate as that person experience. And I guarantee the people who are most successful have failed a lot of times, have failed a lot of projects, have put in lots of hours in different kind of type to try to be willing to put their foot forward and continue on and not giving up on yourself and your dreams. If others can do it, why not you? And if it's not now, then when? You have
Oh,
to be, right?
I like that. If not now, when?
Because our life is very finite. And when I say this, people say, well, I'm double your age, I'm this and that. It's not about the age. I have my nephew who passed away way before he was 16. So when we talk about the age and the lifespan, we all are not guaranteed. But the moment we hear, let's make this the most enjoyable, more fun, more impactful for your life and for others. That's how you should show up. And that's how, whatever that makes you light up. You get up in the morning and you're like, I'm fired up. I love what I do. How can I serve more people? How I can help more people? When your focus is in the right mindset, your creativity will flow and you'll be willing to kind of share that stories that you've been locked down and then look at the relief that you share with others. Now you free, you set yourself free of, oh, what if others, find out that I have this, or, I have my own struggle, or ADHD, or I have my, like English was not my first language. What if I stumble? So what? People who were born here in the US stumble too, right? I don't think no one is perfect. And I think because the more you expect perfections and really script it and really make it like a two-way plan, this is my perspective of my own view. Yes, you can plan, you can prepare, but if you over prepare and you over everything, then you don't go with your creativity, because your creativity and what you give it, it is very, very, not only go with the flow and most natural conversation that you are unscripted, because it comes from your all of your heart and soul, your experiences, and it flows. When people ask me for an interview, for being on a stage, people, it's like whatever it is, I can make it happen, because if it's something, it it is part of who I am. I don't need to fake it. That's where I think genuinely know who you are and stand up and not be afraid. Then there isn't anything that you have to make up. You have to dig for, because it comes from truly who you are, how you live, what your experiences, all that is made the stories and how you show up and who you are. How can you bring people together to really captivate? Not only, it's like they can relate to you. And Diane, you're lovely at your gift on that. Maybe, I don't know if those who are listening, I see, Esther, Jibril, and of course Keith came back, and Celeste, Don, Worknish, Ida, did I pronounce right? Geraldine, Karen, Lachelle, David, Lewis, and April. All those who are in the listening lounge, if anything that you are able to not only resonate with anything that you like to share, if you like to ask any question, feel free to raise your hand and we can bring you up. And then, really is that we can share ideas, we can have things that kind of unlock things that you worry about, or even just curiosity, ask question, because this is where a room that will help you. How can you make it better? And because I think as we continually being curious and getting to know, and how can we learn from one another, but keep your story of authenticity of the original. You're not changing it. It's just having willing to try and say, oh, I like this how it was presented. How can I put that into how I would want to share my story, and kind of create that curiosity, and so people can get to know you more. Um, Anything you like to share on that, Diane? Or
No,
maybe
you.
a client in a, like not naming anyone, but as in what the difference between having a like a ghostwriter help
Mm-hmm.
um, to boost up their story, and or someone who willing to learn to change it up how they show up. How does that, from your experience, their stories, how did that work for them, and what are those challenges for them?
Well, I think when someone is willing to work with a ghostwriter, it's because they're looking to boost their visibility. They're not hitting all the notes that they need to be hitting. They're struggling to maybe craft their narrative, to find the right headline, to really to find the keywords. I mean, they're really struggling. And so when you're working with a client via the ghostwriting, or just a client period, when you're working with a client, you're trying to help them find uh, their voice. I mean, that's always what I'm my attempt to do, is to find their voice. I'm not trying to put my voice on them. I'm trying to find their voice. So I review what they already have, and then I try to polish it and make it better. I review what they have and try to turn it into something that's uh, a little bit more outspoken, a little bit more attention grabbing. I don't want to take anybody too far out of their comfort zone, but at the same time, that's the whole point, isn't it? Is that you have to step out of your comfort zone. And be able to be able to increase your engagement on your post and articles, and your newsletters, if that's the case. So I think a lot of clients sometimes are unsure how to create that post, and even, I talk about this too, as far as posting and ghosting. Uh, a lot of the problem that I have seen with people that I work with, and just people in general, people that I follow and even comment and like on their posts, is that they tend to post and ghost. Um, they don't interact with their own posts. They don't, one of the things that I think will help almost anybody across the board is when you create a post, you should immediately like your own post and make a comment to that post and like that post. And then when people are commenting on your post, you need to respond to them, and you need to like their comment and like your own response. Uh, this is how you generate this is how LinkedIn sees you. This is how the algorithms catch you. And the sooner you generate all of this, like within the first hour is what the LinkedIn is looking at. So the more you can generate within the first hour, the faster and the better you're going to be. The other mistake that I see a lot of is that people tend to double post. Like, when I say double post, they post too quickly. You need at least 4 hours in between your post. And so if you post it, and for this conversation, if you post 9, 10, and 11 o'clock in the morning, your posts are stepping on one another. People can't keep up with you, and neither can the algorithms. And your 10 o'clock just killed your 9, your 11 o'clock just killed your 10. And by the time you hit your 11, your audience is no longer with you. They can't keep up with you. They have other things to do as well. And they're not going to be able to keep up with trying to help you, engaging with your posts. So those are things that I see that go wrong with some of the people that I work with, and some of the things that I tell them to stop doing, and just in general with even people that I follow. It's amazing that some of these things happen, and no matter how much you preach and no matter how much you tell, people still do it. So, but I think that that's a couple of the things that just in general people need to watch out for, and try to stop doing. I hope that answered your question, Dr. New.
Well, I think you gave them a lot of good nuggets too for those who don't know, because I think that's something that because it's all about the visibility, right? As we
It
try to,
is.
you know, it's really getting your voice when you say that as a ghostwriter. You want to boost their, not only their visibility, their voice, so that way they can be heard and be seen. So that
That's what
way, right?
Right, that's what you're trying to do. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but really quick, I have the your profile is extremely important as well. Your tagline on your profile, which is your your tagline right up under your profile picture, yeah, where yours right now is saying empowering burnout, and then mine says I create content. Those are your taglines. Those are important, because that grabs you, that follows you everywhere. If you've never noticed, when you comment on somebody or you like somebody, those first few words are always shown. So that tagline is very important in how you word it. Your profile, your about in your profile, even your resume, how you write your resume. And what I wanted to share is I have let me see what I called it here, a LinkedIn profile enhancement. I have a PDF that if anybody will send me, if you'll link to me, if you're not already linked to me, and if you'll send me a DM, I'll be happy to send you a PDF that I have that'll kind of walk you through some stages that you can do to your LinkedIn profile that'll help you update it and show you a couple of things that you need to do. And I'll be happy to send that to you today. So I just wanted to mention that. I should have already told you that, but I have that I'll send out to you today. If you'd like, if anybody would like a copy of it, if they'll just DM me and ask me for it, I'll be happy to send it to them.
You see how generous and kind already for her sharing not only nuggets but also willing to share. People charge money for that, you know. Those are things that, as I see, you know, Mike with the Hounds of Business, this is why we have a lot of people that are resonating, not what we do, but how we serve and show up for people. Really, really making impact and helping. And this is where, when you say people really do walk the talk, not just talk the talk, right? And I see Sandra. I'm gonna bring Geraldine up. Um, I see you, Nisha. Thank you for joining us. Dr. Faith, thank you for joining us. Esther, and of course Keith. We're bringing humanity together, of course, in Adaptive Strategies Group. Dawn to Leslie, Worknish, Ida. I hope I pronounced right. Karen,
It's
Lachelle. Is it
Ida. It's
Ida?
Ida. Yeah, Ida.
Ida, Karen, Lachelle, David, Lewis. Thank you all, of course, for joining us. Happy Friday. And, you know, for those who were here beginning, I apologize for joining and really kicking off this a little bit late. And April was here and Mike was there on the oncology and mindfulness. They can attest that I was there on the other. So it's not something that I don't lie. I don't. It's something my integrity is. Whatever it is, we're gonna own up. If there's something I messed up, I think transparency and honesty is important. And you know, just there's nothing. We all fail. We all messed up, right? And that's human. We're not perfect. We're not. That is what makes us, and it's okay, because if you have people who believe and know who you are, they will give you grace and forgive me and forgive. I'm sure Diane uh, will forgive me for not only, that's not ever my intentions of being late, because that's being disrespectful, and I get it. There are people who say, you know, that's very disrespectful, and I apologize and sincerely, you know, things sometimes it's out of our control, but it's something we go with the flow and make it happen, and you serve the best that you can. And so I appreciate you, Jabril, Geraldine, and of course Diane the beautiful here. So I'm gonna
Hey,
put
before
in.
well, listen, two things, right? A couple of things before you bring either one of them up, or let them speak. I just wanted to say, first off, I forgive you. You know, I love you. So that's beside the point. And secondly, I don't know if Mike is still here, but you mentioned the hounds. And I just, that is such a beautiful community. I just had to say, I give them a shout out. I just love the hounds. So that's it. That's all. I forgive you. I love the hounds, and I'm done.
Well, thank you. And welcome, is it Lene, for just joining us. And the mic is yours, Jibril, for coming up. before I give it to Geraldine, the beautiful sisters. So how you doing, Jibril?
Good evening. I'm doing good. I'm fine. Yes.
Is
I'm
there
okay.
any?
How are you doing too?
Thank you for joining
Hope you are
us.
good.
Is there anything
I
you'd
just
have
want to
like?
say one or two things based on the topics of discussion that we have here. Literally calling from Nigeria, speaking from Nigeria. It's one of the Africa country. So, based on the protocol we have on the ground, let me see. I can vividly recall when I was having a challenge. That is, having a challenging project that is I led last year. Yeah, so where our team had to develop a new app which was within a tight weeks deadline. Uh, this particular topic that is we faced unexpected technical issues and team member availability constraints. So based on these challenges, I have to take other initiatives as well. It is also those initiatives like to collaborate with the team to prioritize the tasks and delegate responsibility effectively to the other members. And I have to work closely with development team to resolve the technical issues and also and implement the solutions as well. And other approach that I use in that particular challenge that is like how to communicate. Like communication matters a lot. That is when we face challenges, like communicating with the stakeholders, and also make sure that you informed everyone that is throughout the challenge or the project that you are carrying out. So despite these particular obstacles, I could not give up. I have to continue and keep pushing on. That is, I have to deliver the features on time and within the project as well. So this thing that I'm talking to you now, it later resulted like in like 25% increase in user engagement and approximately 50% rise in customer satisfaction. So based on this result I've later achieved, I see like even if you are facing challenges, be it in personal life, be it in the work that you are doing, whatsoever, consider things first before you leave it into other hands as well. So due to this experience, I also demonstrated my ability to lead, and also solve problem and drive results under pressure. I'm proud of the moment for me and the team as well. So at the end of the project, like everyone celebrates, but we're able to meet the satisfaction as well. So nice meeting you. So that is what I have for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us and sharing. The mic is yours, Geraldine.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Geraldine. Uh-oh.
I think she sent me a text and said her mic is locked.
Let me see if I can unmute her. Let's see. Uh, I don't think I can unmute her. She would have to unmute. She's not able to.
You can't unmute my Geraldine, can you not unmute?
Let me see.
Maybe you can go out and come back in.
Cause yeah, there's no button as a host to unmute. She would have to unmute.
So maybe if you left, yes, maybe if you left the room and came back. let's see. Try leaving and returning. Oh, I'm on. You can hear me, can't you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I did a screenshot to share with Geraldine so she can see what I'm seeing. Anyone would like to come up and share or have any comments? Has this been helpful? Anything you like to curious to?
I think she's going to be left. Oh, nope. She stepped down. Maybe she'll come back in.
Yeah, maybe she'll try. You can retry. Raise your hand, Geraldine, if you're able to, and try it again. Not sure why, but it's something that when the support and the collaboration, I think what Diane also mentions on how you want to support others and also like your own posts and even your own comments. Sometimes we tend to not. Is the mindset of we don't want to toot our own horn. Is that what the term, right? It's a really, but sometimes that willing to. Oh, Geraldine, now it's sticking. It's Lincoln. It's not me.
Yes, it is definitely LinkedIn. Oh my God.
There you are, girl.
Yes. Oh, it was crazy. Oh, it wouldn't let me click back to even get to the doggone panel. And then it just went away. It was crazy.
You're here now. What's up, girl?
Oh, how are you, ladies? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you for being persistent and not give up on us, even though technology is fun. It's all we can say. We
That's the
enjoy
word for it.
go with the flow, right?
LinkedIn, gotta love it. I mean, I love these audios, but there are some serious bugs. But it's all worth it. Hey, thank you, ladies, for pulling me up to the stage. Dr. New, it's so great to meet you. Diane, girl, I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
I mean, we are working on this great book together, all about teaming up, sharing resources, audiences, whatever it is. You guys are going to love it when it's finished. We're going to really help you grow your audience on LinkedIn. Yeah, I like that part of, how to make LinkedIn your bitch. That was great. That's this. Like, oh my God, I love LinkedIn.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Well, and we are working on a book. I mentioned earlier in my introduction that we had already done one book, and then we're working on this book, and we've got another one coming before the end of the year, which we're right at the top of the end of the year anyway.
I know.
And it'll finish out the empowerment series. So yeah, and this is about collaboration too. This is part of collaborating and working together, which is part of writing. This is content writing. This is the other side of writing. Instead of ghost writing, I'm actually working with Geraldine to create this series.
Yes.
And this is part of the other side of the writing that I do. And
it's about blending.
Yeah,
blending your business DNA with each other to create something better than you could have done by yourself.
Exactly.
It just takes what you already have, that recipe that does taste good.
Yeah.
It just spices it up. Like, oh my God, it just elevates it.
Yeah, it does. And you and I, we've known each other for, I don't know.
Long.
Yeah, that long. We've known each other
20-something years now.
Wow.
20-something years. So it's good when you know someone. I mean, you have to be able to, when you work with people and collaborate and co-market and mingle the way Geraldine and I do. I mean, it's great to know one another the way we do, because you know that you're reliable. we're already transparent with one another. We know, I mean, we say things to one another when we talk to one another that, people go, what? But it's like, yeah, we know one another. It's okay.
Yeah.
And we still respect each other. We're not disrespecting one another. It's all about respect and being vulnerable with each other and encouraging one another. And that's something that, everybody needs in a partnership.
Someone who has your back and who
That's
wants to
right.
see you succeed and
That's
want
right.
to succeed along with you. That's
That's
the
right.
most important thing. There's no one that's trying to take all the limelight.
That's right. That's right. It's a joint effort, and you want both of us to succeed. And we had a brief conversation earlier this morning about something that we're working on. Well, about the book that we're working on, and we were talking about that. And I said, look, it needs to be your voice as much as my voice, and I want you to feel comfortable. I mean, this is part of it. So that's just part of being able to work in collaboration with someone, and that's important. That's just an important part of writing as well as ghostwriting. It's the collaboration part, whether you're ghostwriting or just writing with someone. That's part of the collaboration that I go through with anybody that I work with. So,
and also helps that you took the lead and you outlined it all. And I get to go back behind you and plug myself in because now I can see. Before, it would have just been this abstract thing. But you made it physical. You made it 3D for me. And I'm in there doing my thing now. So I'm like taking over, doing my part. And then you're going to go back behind me and make sure our voices mix perfectly.
Exactly. And Dr. New, you're right. That's part of collaboration. That's exactly how it works. You want to, and I try to make it as easy for anyone that I work with as possible, because
that is the most important thing.
Yeah, that's the whole point of someone coming to me in the first place, is they need help. And so they didn't come to me because they just wanted to talk to me and me go, well, here's the work you need to do. I mean,
that doesn't work that way. And I can testify to that because I wouldn't have known where to even start.
Exactly.
But you outlined it all. You wrote it out basically with your vision, and then I'm coming behind you and plugging in my vision, and then you're just smoothing it all out to make it all sound the same, basically. That one voice.
Exactly.
It's two voices, but you're making it into one voice.
It's a partnership. It's two voice. It's like a marriage. It's two voices that become one for what we're working on. Well, I say that because it's a joint effort. It's a collaboration. When I co-write, it's still two voices that become one, but now it's like Dr. New. It's two voices that become Dr. New's voice. This is two voices that become one. It's two different things. Our voices become one so that it's a joint effort. But if I were working with Dr. New or Keith on the platform, so if I was working with Keith, it would be two voices that become Dr. New's or two voices that become Keith's. So
I think it's like you walking in someone else's shoes. You're stepping into someone else's shoes.
Yeah.
But it's the power of collaboration, the uniqueness of both them blending in. That's the melting pot. Is what I see.
And
that's the beauty. And we need to do a book on those, the power of collaboration, maybe the melting pot or whatever it is. There is so much that we can do, and I think for those who are listening and afraid to either voice or take action, is to be inspired, to really get curious, and the power of collaborations. And Keith, I don't want to lose you. You have something to say?
I was first of all, thank you everyone for being here. Dr. New, great topic. Diane, amazing. And
thank you.
Man, like I'm thinking about the posts that I make and this 4-hour rule, and man, I think I have some posts that are like 30 seconds right after each other. So I'm killing all my posts. I just started laughing when you said that. That's all I really came up here for. It's just sometimes I just got so much to say, right? So it's like post. But yeah, I'm killing my posts. All right, well, it's okay. R.I.P. post. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. And this was a really great, it was an important topic because it's not like you do need other people to help you lift your vision up. It's not just, you can't just be an army of one and think that you're going to be so successful and it's going to be sustainable. By really just showing up and being authentic, like Dr. New said, you're going to be able to show up to any meetings or to just really tell your story because it is your story instead of it just being something that you made up just so you can share the limelight with other people that you look up to. So just be you, be your true, authentic self. Find people like Diane that could help you share your story because, again, your story is so powerful and you never know how it's going to connect with someone and how it's going to really change their lives. So just keep being you, and thank you for having me here.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you. And remember, maybe reach out. I'm going to drop Diane a link. Follow her, DM her if you like a little well, what should the keyword they should type if they want, or just say that you've been on the
Yeah,
audio mind flamingo with new, and if you like that PDF file,
yep,
she'll send it to you, and that's
yep. That's
something
all we got to do.
and follow her, and really it's the power of collaborations, and don't think of competition even if you're doing the same thing. I would say that you can still support one another. You can still people always say don't connect, don't do this with the same that what you do. um, yes, but I also see a perspective of there's so much that's meaning everyone is different, meaning even if you connected to, let's say, 10 or 100 or 1,000 ghostwriter, but is all of them going to be the same? They are not going to all show up different. They're all going to be different. That
Right.
uniqueness, and that uniqueness is where you will be drawn into because of their kindness. They're willing to help others. Whatever that resonate with you, that's what you're being drawn into. So be able to be vulnerable to share. The more you're willing to share, and willing to serve and help others, the future is yours and you will get better. And that's with doing.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And yeah, no matter who you work with, whether you've got to have a conversation with them. You got to make sure they fit. They have the same values, and they understand what your goals are, and willing to help you uh, find your purpose and achieve your goals, and not achieve their goals. Their goals are unimportant. It's your goals that are important. So you've got to make sure that that individual understands that, and that you can feel that they understand that they're not just talking a good game.
Well, thank you all. And of course, Diane for being the lovely co host. I know that we'll have to do another series. And this, I'm going to try to also bring this for all those who came up and spoke, maybe have it on my YouTube as a podcast if it's so that way people can re listen to and share kind of what will help. There are people who will take actions and be inspired, and there are those who just listen and let it sit. And I want to encourage everyone to, whatever it is, know that you're not alone. There are people out there that are not only helping you and can support you, can cheer you on, if nothing else, a mental support, someone to listen, to share your post, like, is invaluable. So just know that we are better together, and that the world is a better place when true collaborations, true purpose, and it's just how can you serve more, and that you can have, because you can't do it all. You need people as you grow. So that is something I like to close up. Before we close up, anything you like to share, Diane? Because I not only value everyone time that are joining us today, and all those who are been here and still here. I appreciate you, and thank you again, Diane. Reach out to her and anything that before we close the room, Diane. And thank you,
No,
Keith and Geraldine, for coming and sharing your story, and Jabril also.
No, I just appreciate everybody for being here. I appreciate you, Dr. New. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me have this platform with you today. Thank you, Geraldine, Keith, everyone that spoke today. Thank you so much. Thank for everybody that's showing up. And I just appreciate all of you. And if I can help anybody, you got my DM. If you're not linked to me, link to me. I appreciate that too. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Love you all. See you
Love you all.
soon. Talk soon. Bye. See you in the
Bye.
next event. Bye, Keith. Bye, Dan. Bye,
Bye.
Leslie, Esther, Dr. Faith, Worknish, and Jibril. Talk soon, Diane. Love you.
Okay. Love you too. Bye.
Be blessed. Be well, everyone.